boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to not the Austrian Grand Prix, how I said in the last race. It is the Spanish Grand Prix here at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. We have quite a treat in store, I reckon. It's only a matter of time before we see. We have currently an Arrows 1-2. Michael Schumacher, though, has just blitzed their time, and now everyone else is just going above. Fisichella with a 125 dead. Alonso, Schumacher. Frentzen has just gone back up to the top. He's half a second ahead. Fisichella second, Alonso third, Schumacher fourth. That's Burti that's come into second place in the BAR. Last race winner. Ralf Schumacher's put into fourth. De La Rosa second, but it's still Heinz-Harald Frentzen leading in qualifying. We have 26 laps, I want to say, for you here at Catalunya. Personally, not my favourite tracks. Never liked driving around here. There's something about the track that I just don't like. It doesn't flow. It doesn't ring any bells for me, and I just don't like it. But at the moment, it is Heinz-Harald Frentzen who is over the moon, currently in pole position. Mark Webber up into 5th. Montoya 6th at the moment for Toyota. Luciano Burti's done all of his qualifying laps. No improvements between the top guys. De La Rosa's done all of his laps. So have Diniz. Someone's just jumped up. It was, I think, Webber has just jumped up. And that's Ralf. Actually, I've just realised Ralf Schumacher second place. It's an Arrows 1-2 at the moment. Webber's gone out and he's not improved his lap time. The only person that could improve his lap time now is Mazzacane. And he does not improve. So it's going to be Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Pole position for the Arrows. Ralf Schumacher, his Arrows teammate, second place. De La Rosa third, Burti fourth, Webber fifth, Diniz sixth. Mazzacane second, Montoya eighth, Fisichella ninth, Lazy 10th. There is your top 10. 11th down, Raikkonen is in 11th, 12th Coulthard, Alonso 13th, 14th Hakkinen, 15th Schumacher, 16th Takagi, 17th Young, 18th Hill, 19th Button, and 20th in last place, 3.5 seconds off of the pace is Rubens Barrichello in the Ferrari as we look at the track map here for the race. 15 corners, I think. We'll go through the track as the cars go around. So high down force track with 2 long straights as the cars are ready on the grid, ready for the 5 lights to go out. And they are racing the longest straight to the first corner. De La Rosa's got a good start. He's already passed one of the Arrows. Is he going to go past the other Arrows? Not quite. It's going to be Heinz-Harald Frentzen leading. De La Rosa second. Ralf Schumacher third. Burti fourth. Webber fifth. We're going to go down the grid now. Webber fifth as mentioned. Diniz down to 6th. 7th Montoya. 8th Mazzacane. 9th is a Lazy, 10th Fisichella, 11th Coulthard, 12th Hakkinen, 13th Raikkonen, 14th is Alonso, 15th Schumacher, 16th is one of the Minardis, it is Young, 17th Takagi, 18th is Button, 19th Hill, 20th is Barrichello, and that's it. All 20 cars got off the grid as they go up the hill, turn 3, down towards turn 4. Frentzen still leads. De La Rosa's gone down the inside of turn 4. He's going to turn to the outside for turn 5. If Frentzen can keep hold of this position, which he has done. Schumacher looking down the inside of De La Rosa. Can he get a good exit? No, he cannot. But he's still looking down the inside. Going to turn 6 and 7. The chicane. Very tricky chicane, and up the hill towards turn 8. Heavy and De La Rosa and Ralf Schumacher both gone super wide. Webber has taken advantage. Down towards turn 9. Round the hairpin. towards turn 11. Turn 12 coming up. Webber, good start for the Sauber third at the moment. Turn 14 down towards turn 14. I ran out. I don't think I've caught that right. Webber looking very racy at the moment at the start of the race. De La Rosa under pressure from the Australian. The long pit straight, sorry. Top four looks to be pulling away from 5th place Burti at the moment, which suggests that Burti's on a one stop again. Round the long turn 3. This turn seems to go on forever. Turn 4 coming up now. De La Rosa down the inside of Frentzen again. Can he make the move stick this time? He can. De La Rosa takes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix, his home race in the Jaguar. Webber still looking very feisty. Ralf Schumacher keeping up with them at the moment. Ralf Schumacher down 2 places. Frentzen down 1 place. The Arrow's not leading at the moment after leading in qualifying. Turn 4. Turn 4, position 4's Ralf Schumacher's Montoya, that's in 5th place. All the cones have already disappeared of turn 8. And up the hill towards turn 9. I don't know anymore. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is turn 9. Round the hairpin. Fisichella 10th. Coulthard currently 11th. It's a long turn 9 corner up towards turn 10. Schumacher. Alonso, turn 10. Takagi, Young in 17th. And then there's a bit of a gap to Button in 18th. 19th and 20th. Turns 11 and 12 are the next corners. De La Rosa still leads. Frentzen, Montoya has caught up to the back of these lots. Of Burti obviously holding up quite a few of the drivers. Up the hill round turn 3. The corner that goes on forever and ever and ever. Webber looking very feisty. Frentzen down the inside of De La Rosa. He cannot get the move done on the Spaniard. The Spaniard having the extra step with the home crowd advantage. He is currently leading. Schumacher, I believe that is Michael Schumacher's duck in first gear, which is sort of helpful because most of the colours are in first gear. And then the dying screech of the 19,000 RPM engine as he gets stuck in first gear up, 252 miles an hour. This part of the section is nearly flat. It's a horrible screech of the engine. Webber has passed Frentzen along some way. Frentzen has just taken out the 150 metre board. Frenzen's making a few mistakes out there. Looks to be under pressure from his world champion teammate Ralf Schumacher. Down towards the first corner. Webber had a little look on De La Rosa. Webber's now going to look towards the inside of turn 3. He's going to take a wide line. Maybe they're going to try and do the cutback. Going towards turn 4. Turn 4 seems to be a popular overtaking spot at the moment. Webber is going down the inside of De La Rosa. Is he going to make the move stick for the Australian? He's not. Webber stays in second place. Frentzen has the door slam shut on him as he tries to go down the inside. Webber still looking left and right towards De La Rosa. Going through the chicane, turn 7 and 8. Then turn 9. I don't actually. This is turn 8, and Webber has made a small mistake, and Frentzen has capitalised and is now up into second place. Round the hairpinned turn 9, up towards turn 10. It's a very long corner, turn 9. Turn 10, again another long corner. Lots of long corners. Are very harsh on the tyres, all these long corners. Turns 11 and 12, pretty quick. There's no more 100 metre board. Frentzen took that out last lap. Turn 12 is another very quick corner. Lots of long and quick corners. Not going to do the tyres much good. We're expecting the two stoppers to stop at around lap 9. And that's Raikkonen out of the race. What's going to happen here? He's going towards turn 9 and he goes straight across the track to avoid the cars, and it looks like it's a simple brake failure. He is out of the Spanish Grand Prix round. Turn 9. Raikkonen becomes our second retirement, as well as Michael Schumacher. There he is. It's almost like I planned it. De La Rosa leads. Frentzen still looking a little bit racy there in second place is the Arrows driver. Heavy braking toward turn 4. De La Rosa slamming the door shut still. Down towards turn 5. Frentzen looking towards the inside. Nothing there. Not really an overtaking spot. Turn 6. Webber's down to 4th. Ralf Schumacher is overtaking the Australian. Montoya still in 5th. Is in 6th place. He has overtaken Burti, I would want to say. Yeah, Mazzacane 8th. Behind his Brazilian teammates. Probably still annoyed about the fact that the Brazilian now has his car. Fisichella 9th in the Renault, 10th Lazy in the other Renault. So the Renaults have swapped positions and overtaken both McLarens at some point. There is Hakkinen in 12th. He's 8 seconds down on his teammate. Most likely due to Schumacher. Fernando Alonso 14th in his home Grand Prix. Not getting the same home crowd vibes that De La Rosa is having. There's a Minardi going down the inside of the car. Ralf Schumacher, we just heard, in the fastest lap of the race. He is looking the most feisty out of the lot. Round 10-3 for the German. Frentzen looking down to the inside of De La Rosa. It's a good overtaking spot. It seems to be turn 4, but De La Rosa is very equal to it and made sure the door is slammed shut. Turn 5 now, round the left-handed. Frentzen's got a fantastic exit. Can he take advantage going through turn 7? He's going to turn to the inside of turn 8. And nothing there. Frentzen down the inside. That was very brave if he was going to try and do that down the inside of turn 8. But nothing there. And that is Montoya now taking an overtake on Webber. Webber's dropping like a brick at the moment. Gone from 2nd down to 5th at the moment. Not really sure why he's done that. Why he's dropping so many places. Dinner's 6th at the moment. Alonso now retired. And is again behind Hakkinen. Ran the outside. He just ran out of room and it looks like he's beached that car in turn 5. Tried to do an outside overtake on Hakkinen. Makes a mistake and is beached. And Alonso is out of the race. Out of his home Grand Prix. Hill 16th. Button 15th. Barrichello is now promoted to 17th. Hakkinen 13th. Montoya with the fastest lap in 5th place. Takagi. We're on board with Montoya now. In front of him in the 2 Arrows and the Jaguar. It's Ralf Schumacher 3rd. Frentzen 2nd. De La Rosa still holding on to the lead as his home Grand Prix. Ralf Schumacher's just gone wide and Montoya has taken advantage and up into 3rd place goes the Colombian. Frentzen down the inside of De La Rosa. Is he going to take the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix off of De La Rosa? De La Rosa now on the inside car at turn 5. It's a good battle between... Oh, that was very, very naughty from Pedro De La Rosa. It's a good battle between old rivals. De La Rosa keeps hold of that lead from Frentzen. Good defending, good clean defending. Frentzen, another audacious move around turn 3. He's gone wide. Turn 8, sorry. Montoya could take advantage of this. Of course, Colombia speaks Spanish. He's got Spanish heritage from the fact that he comes from Colombia. That's all that I can think of. Round turn 10 goes Montoya. But Montoya's going to dive on the inside and into the pits. Montoya. Pits from 4th place. Promotes Ralf Schumacher to 3rd. Promotes Webber to 4th. Frentzen with the fastest lap of the race, despite the fact he was overtaking. There is Frentzen going towards the inside of De La Rosa. De La Rosa keeping the inside clean. Little naughty door slam there. They've got a 1.5 second lead over Ralf Schumacher at the moment. Frentzen dives down the inside of turn 4 yet again. He has got the inside line. He's going to turn it to the outside for turn 5 unless... or a bit of pushing there. Frentzen not able to make the move stick yet again. Someone has lost his rear wing and I'm not sure who that is. It's Kimi Raikkonen, who I'm pretty sure has already retired, which means someone has joined him in that tyre war. On board with Alex Young. It's going down towards turn 1. Hakkinen. And it's Hakkinen. Oh, that's both. That's Young and Hakkinen crashing. So it wasn't Raikkonen, it was Hakkinen. Disrupted the other Minardi as well, did Young. So it just couldn't get that stopped. And Hakkinen came very close to retiring 2 other occasions. And finally he's been crashed into by someone from behind, and Young and Hakkinen become 2 more retirements. So both the Finns are out. That sounded like someone was going into the pits. Sauber are ready to take someone into the pits. I can only assume it's Mark Webber, because Raikkonen... loads of people are making mistakes around turn 8. There's quite the battle going on here. I think this is the Burti train. Yes, it is the Burti train. Coulthard going down the inside of Mazzacane. The BARs are under pressure. This is for 6th place at the moment. Dennis in 5th. Webber dives into the pits. Who has followed him? It is De La Rosa that has followed him. Both arrows stay up for another lap. That could be key. Ralf Schumacher, fastest lap of the race so far on lap 9. But both De La Rosa and Webber both pit. The fuel hose goes out. There goes Mark Webber. Crucially ahead of Pedro De La Rosa. That is rather interesting. Accelerating now. Looks like De La Rosa is going to lose a position as well to the I don't even know who that is. That is the Toyota of Montoya. Montoya has gotten ahead of Pedro De La Rosa. De La Rosa no longer the net leader. Webber and Montoya both pass him. All these are on the 2 stop for sure. Round turn 4. So both arrows are leading at the moment. Lazy 8th. Fisichella 7th. There's the 2 BARs and Coulthard in down lot. Schumacher moves into the lead. So the arrows have been fighting. Frentzen in 2nd. He's lost a lot of time. Not really sure what happened to Frentzen. He's just lost so much time. Must have had a mistake there. Frentzen actually dives into the pit. So Ralf Schumacher has the lead and has a sizable advantage over the rest of the field at the moment. Braking towards the pit lane. And Dennis promoted into 2nd place. Burti going to go past into 4th. This is the huge train. Or change of all 4 tyres for the arrows. Where's Webber? The fuel hose is still in. The fuel hose goes out. Webber is about to cross the start finish line now. And Montoya and De La Rosa follow. So he's behind all of them. So he's obviously made a mistake somewhere to cause him to be this far back. It's 2 seconds back from these lot. Maybe we'll see a replay of what happened, because maybe the arrows touched each other. We do not know. We don't have a replay of that. Webber 8th. Under pressure from Montoya though. They're 11 seconds back from Malaysia. But out in front it's Ralf Schumacher. 2nd place is De La Rosa. 3rd place now is Burti. Jaguar ready in the pits. That will be for Pedro Diniz. Down towards the hairpin of turn 9. Mazzacane 5th. Burti has been spun around. Burti, Span, And his Burti train is all over. Now, maybe what happened with Frentzen and Ralf Schumacher, which maybe why Frentzen fell down a little bit. Diniz pits in the Jaguar. Ralf Schumacher stays out for another lap. He has a sizable advantage of 15 seconds to the rest of the field. It's a huge advantage for the Arrows. But in the pits is Pedro, Diniz. Webber crosses the start-finish line now, along with Montoya and De La Rosa. Frentzen as well. The overcut doesn't seem to be working too well here in Spain. Round turns 1 and 2. Goes Diniz up through the gears. Frentzen round the long right-hander. He has quite a sizable view of Montoya. De La Rosa has gone down the inside of Webber, but Webber is keeping hold of that 7th place for now. But De La Rosa has just span into him and absolute mayhem has happened here. Webber has lost out to Frentzen and De La Rosa and Montoya. A lazy 6th, Burti in 5th, Fisichella 4th, Gulfar 2nd, Mazzacane 1st. But your race leader, Ralf Schumacher, enters the pits for the first of, you'd assume, 2 pit stops with the lap he has pitted. Here we go. Fueling hose is in. Tyres going on. Mazzacane will take over the race lead.
Mazzacane has taken the lead.
And the fuel hose is still in. Still in. Still in. Are they fueling that Arrows up to the end? That is going to be quite remarkable if that happens. And Ralf Schumacher has such an advantage over the top lot. He has come out ahead of the likes of Montoya, Webber, De La Rosa, Diniz and Ralf Schumacher. And one would assume with how much fuel they've put in that he doesn't have to stop again. Alazy in 5th, Burti in 4th. All these are one stopping. But surely they're not going to be able to get that much of an advantage. Especially towards Ralf Schumacher. We'll wait and see though. But we now have a race on. We now have a race on. Down towards McLaren ready in the pits. Looks like Fisichella ready to go into the pits as well. So Coulthard, Fisichella both going to be pitting. They're in a BAR sandwich at the moment. Mazzacane leads. He is outshining his BAR teammate, who ideally should be the lead BAR with the car advantage he's got. But both the McLaren and the Renault diving into the pits. That's going to be interesting to see what these two do. Especially knowing that Ralf Schumacher has put enough fuel to go to the end. We shall wait and see. Into the pits goes the 2 cars. You'd assume they'd fuel them till the end, unless they're going to go really light for this stint. The 5 go past. The McLaren, McLaren might be fueled to the end. The Renault's definitely fueled till the end. One would assume with the gap that them two have created, it is a fuel till the end. That looks like a Ferrari that's gone into the pits. That'll be Barrichello because the other Ferrari is out. And that is Webber going down the inside of Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher letting everyone through, it seems. You'd be foolish not to. You're much heavier than the rest of the field at the moment. You're in a different strategy. His strategy will come into play later in the race. De La Rosa in 5th. Montoya 4th. All these you'd have thought will stop again. They are all 13 seconds behind Alazy and Burti. Mazzacane has a sizable advantage of around 3-4 seconds. But it's such a long pit lane here in Barcelona. You'd lose around about 20 to 25 to maybe even 30 seconds especially if you're fueling till the end. So Mazzacane up round turn 3. Turn 4 comes up quite quickly after this, after a short burst of straight. You can see 200 metres of straight round turns 4. Barrichello in front. He is not full position. Turn 5, Barrichello is going so slowly that I think Mazzacane is being held up by the Brazilian. And that is not going to be helping Mazzacane any way, shape or form. Barrichello needs to move out of the way, otherwise he's going to be caught by a lazy. And he's just not moving out of the way. The back marker being a little bit naughty here. Is he going to let him through? No, he's not. He is just, it's absolutely ruining Mazzacane at the moment. And that 3-second advantage that Mazzacane had is now 2/10. And it's also not going to be helping the rest of the grid try and form a gap. Barrichello is so slow at the moment. And Mazzacane is just dived into the pits. He's just not been able to overtake Barrichello at all. Alazy moves into the lead. Burti's gone past as well. Their advantage is 13 seconds. And they're going to be slowing down to the pit lane and bolting 4 new tyres on. Montoya will go past Frentzen, De La Rosa, Weber. Diniz has gone past. Ralf Schumacher has gone past. Mazzacane is leaving the pits now. What's the advantage for Ralf Schumacher, you'd have thought? 7 is climbing to 8 seconds. Ralf Schumacher in 8th. He's got Diniz in 7th. He's lost a lot of time, it looks like. Weber 6th. Frenzen's in the fastest lap, may I add. De La Rosa 5th. Frenzen's in 4th. Montoya 3rd. So Frentzen has passed De La Rosa at some point. But your race leader at the moment is Jean Alazy. But he's had to make a pit stop. So to Burti. Alazy looked to like looking at the commentary box window to see the Renault team ready. It doesn't look like the BR team are ready to take Burti in at the moment. Unless a late dash is going to happen. Burti putting Alazy under pressure. Barrichello's nowhere to be seen now. Maybe they have blood. And Burti does pit actually. It's a very late call for the BAR team. They've responded to the Renault team coming out. Jordan look like they're ready as well. So there is Barrichello. So Barrichello must have bad blood with Mazzacane. And there goes the top Montoya, Frentzen, De La Rosa and Weber. That is Diniz, Ralf Schumacher. Alazy can't escape. Burti is ahead of Alazy now. Where's Mazzacane in all this? He is nowhere. He's 2.5, about 2 seconds. There is Mazzacane. All these don't have to stop again though. Ralf Schumacher has an 8.3 second advantage. Jordan ready in the pits, but who cares? Diniz 5th, Weber 4th, De La Rosa 3rd, Frentzen 2nd. But your race leader at the moment is Juan Pablo Montoya. They are coming up towards the back of Rubens Barrichello, who has pretty much scuppered any chance of Mazzacane winning this race. And they're going to catch Barrichello in quite an awkward position. Especially Montoya. Montoya is now right behind Barrichello. Barrichello not letting him past. Surely everyone's just going to be so annoyed with him. Montoya now slows to the pits. Everyone's slowed behind. And down the pit straight. Frentzen takes over the race lead. There's Barrichello. There's Frentzen. De La Rosa and Weber side by side pretty much towards first corner. But nothing happening. Frentzen leads. Is Barrichello going to move out of the way? Yes, he does. He's going to move out the way of De La Rosa. Yes, he does. Weber as well. Yes, Barrichello lets the leaders go through. Frenson's got a 1 second advantage over De La Rosa at the moment. Webber third in the Sauber, Diniz fourth. Under pressure from Ralf Schumacher, who has opened up a 10-second lead over Luciano Burti. Alesi in 7th, Mazzacane 8th. They're all losing time at the moment. Montoya 9th. He has made his final pit stop. Fisichella 10th. Coulthard 11th. Takagi in 12th. Button 13th. 14th is Barrichello, but he is about to make a pit stop. So he might make Montoya's life and Mazzacane's life a complete misery at the moment. There is all your retirement. Frenson leads. He is opened up a 1 second gap over Pedro De La Rosa. Webber dives into the pits. It's going to be interesting to see where Webber comes out in relation to the one-stoppers. We're on lap 17 out of 26. There is 8 laps to go after that. Diniz and Ralf Schumacher are both going to go past the Ferrari as well as Brooms Barrichello. The fuel hose is going to come off. Yes. Wow. Burti is about to go past now. So to Alesi's. Mazzacane going to get past Webber as well. Just Montoya is behind. So there is the gauntlet for Frenson and De La Rosa. They've got approximately 3 laps to try and eke out some advantage over these lots. Burti slowly catching up with Ralf Schumacher, but not at the rate that he needs to. Diniz finally has managed to clear Ralf Schumacher enough to pull up a little bit of a gap, but it might be too little too late. Frenson as well has come out of the slipstream of De La Rosa and has pulled away a 2/10 gap from the last time we looked at them. It's now 1.3, 1.4 seconds the gap between Frenson and De La Rosa. To go around the right hander down the main straight. Frenson 1.4 second advantage. He looks quite comfortable in the lead at the moment. There's no Barrichello to annoy him now. There's probably not going to be another back mark now for the rest of the race because the Jordans have quite the advantage. They're slowly pulling away from Diniz and Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher is in what looks to be a fantastic position. He's pulled away another half a tenth over Burti because Burti is under pressure from Jean Alesi. Mazzacane is 4 seconds behind, with Webber still in 8th place. Round turn 3. Burti under pressure from the Frenchman. Oh, Jean Alesi's won a race already. Alesi down inside of the Brazilian. The Brazilian locks the door and there's a little bit of contact there. Jaguar already in the pits. So it seems to me that De La Rosa is about to make a pit stop for the Jaguar team. The Arrows have not announced that they're pitting yet. It's a 1.8 second advantage and the Arrows is not pitting. Frenson has going for another lap. Down towards the pits. Frenson with the fastest lap as well. Frenson is a man on the mission. He knows that this is probably likely going to be his in-lap. De La Rosa goes into the pits. Diniz has already gone past. Ralf Schumacher is about to go past. There goes De La Rosa out of the pits. He looks like he's about to be ahead of Burti. Accelerating now through the gears. And he is well ahead of Burti. Well, not well ahead. He's 2 seconds ahead of Burti, but that is enough of an advantage. And might going to be a bit of battling going on between them 3 cars. But it also brings Frenson into good stead as well. And Arrows as a whole, it looks like, are going to be in a great position. Alesi down towards turn 4. Arrows ready in the pits. Frenson He's got to go into the pits. He's not going to be leading this race afterwards because Diniz is going to be leading for now. But it looks like he's going to have to make a pit stop. There goes Frentzen down towards the pits. He has a 12-second advantage over Diniz at the moment. About 15 to 16-second advantage over Ralf Schumacher. About 25 seconds advantage to what is now De La Rosa. Frentzen has done all that he can to give himself the best possible position. Diniz goes past to take the lead. The fuel is going in, the fuel goes out. Ralf Schumacher passes the pit lane, and Frentzen has such an advantage over De La Rosa. It is unbelievable. It's a 6-second advantage over the Jaguar. Well, 5.5 seconds now that the times have equated, and now Ralf Schumacher second. Diniz leads for now with including this lap, about 5.5 laps to go. Ralf Schumacher second, Frentzen third, De La Rosa fourth, Burti fifth, a lazy sixth, Mazzacane seventh, Webber eighth, Montoya ninth, Fisichella in 10th, Coulthard's 11th, Takagi 12th, Buttons 13th, 14th Damon Hill, 15th Barry Kello. Look at the list of retirements: Young, Hakkinen, Alonso, Raikkonen and Michael Schumacher, as we go back on board with Pedro Diniz about to take to the pit lane and going to relinquish the lead. He's led for a lap. He's about to relinquish that lead, however. Into the pit lane goes Diniz, and accelerating now and down the gears. Pedro Diniz pits. He is about to relinquish the lead to Ralf Schumacher, who takes over the race lead. Frentzen goes past. About a 7-second advantage now towards De La Rosa. Diniz leaves the pits. De La Rosa is about to go past to take third place. Alesi goes past. Burti is not going to go past. Diniz comes back out in 5th place. There looks like a back mark. It's the Jordan, actually. I didn't think that we're going to see much back markers, but the Jordans have gone into this fight for 3rd. Burti 6th for BAR. We've got 5 laps to go now. It's a good fight now for the podium positions. Down inside, and Diniz has just let him go by. Burti up into 5th place. But he's got Jordan now to contend with. 4th and 3rd look like they're pulling away a little bit. Less lazy in De La Rosa. Mostly because this Jordan is just not getting out of the way of Burti. That, I don't know which one of the Jordans that is. I think that is Button. Button is getting involved, and Diniz has just gone down the inside of both of them. Diniz overtakes Burti. Well, re-overtakes Burti. Down round the hairpin, turn 9. Turns 10 coming up now for the driver. This is Burti. Classification at the moment: Ralf Schumacher leads by 4.1 seconds over his teammate Heinz-Harald Frentzen. 3rd place is quite the ways away now. How much is the gap? It's 13.3 seconds behind Ralf Schumacher at the moment. Frentzen is about 9.2 ahead. Alesi's 4th, Diniz 5th, Burti 6th at the moment. Mazzacane, Webber, Fisichella, Montoya and Coulthard are all quite close. 1.6 separates them 5 drivers. Them 5 drivers fighting over 1 and 2 points respectively. Round turn 3, we go back on board with, this is the battle between them drivers. Mazzacane, Webber, Fisichella, Montoya, Coulthard, all fighting for them 2 points positions. The closest these lot have been is actually that's probably why, because there's a Jordan about to come up. Both Jordans it looks like they're about to come up against. That's not going to help them any way. They're fighting as well, the 2 Jordans of Hill and Button, side by side of the 2 Jordans. That's not going to help at all. So Button has overtaken Hill. And actually the Jordan has... Oh, that's a bit of contact between the Webber and the Jordan. I don't really know which one of the Jordans that is. I think that's Hill. Button is now the person in front. Could be the wrong way around, but the Jordans are getting involved in this fight, and they shouldn't really, because it's an interesting fight. And Mazzacane is getting frustrated now. Mazzacane sort of also has an advantage with the fact it's a Spanish-speaking country. Through the fast turn 12, he has pushed pretty much the Jordan out of the way. The Jordan now slowing down the straight to let these lot go through. And we're down to the final 3 laps. The fight for the final 2 points now, you'd have thought, is between Mazzacane, Webber and Fisichella. Montoya looks to be out of this now. So too Coulthard, and it's a shame really, because the Jordans and Montoya and Hill and Coulthard has... they're all involved. Montoya out of the race. Hill has taken Montoya out. This is what's happened here. So Hill going slow round turn 1, going round turn 2. Hill goes to the outside to let him go past. Montoya has simply... okay, so actually Hill was in front of Button. And Montoya is out of the race now. Hill also out of the race. So Montoya, they need to move that car out of the way. There we are. Montoya out of the race. So Takagi is promoted to... I don't really know. 11th? Webber's gone wide. Montoya's gone... Fisichella's gone wide. Mazzacane has pulled out an 8th, 10th advantage. Burti looks to the inside of Diniz. Diniz holding on to that 5th place at the moment to Burti. There's a fight for the podium, the final podium position as well. Lazy 4th. De La Rosa 3rd. Lazy down towards the inside of the straight. Is Lazy about to make an overtake for De La Rosa in the penultimate lap? Lazy nearly dives down the inside of De La Rosa, but the Spaniard keeps hold of it. Round the long turn 3. Lazy takes a wide line. De La Rosa not taking any prisoners at the moment. Down the inside goes Lazy. Side by side round turn 4. Lazy temporarily in 3rd place, but De La Rosa has the inside line now for turn 5 and has made that move stick for another lap. They are 10 seconds behind Frentzen in 2nd, but the race leader at the moment is your Season 2 champion Ralf Schumacher. He has already won a race this season. He won in Canada, did Ralf Schumacher. But there's a few battles to be sorted out. Fisichella is now up into 8th place, ahead of Webber, but I don't think it's going to be stayed that way for too much longer. Coulthard is now 20 seconds behind this battle because of being held up by the Montoya Hill incident. 20 full seconds behind. Are about to start the final lap. The leaders have already started the final lap. Fisichella 8th, holding on to that final point for Renault round the final corner. Mazzacane's got a little bit of an advantage. Burti and Diniz still fighting over that 5th place for 4 points. Down towards the first corner, the chicane, and then up the hill through 10-3. Now it's not good. They've got to set themselves up for 10-4. There's Burti, but I don't think he's made the most of it. Diniz looks like he's going to have the advantage going around 10-4 unless Burti dives it down the inside, which he'd had a think about, but not done anything. A Lazy 4th, still battling De La Rosa for 3rd. We're on board with Frentzen, but Ralf Schumacher has not put a foot wrong all race. He has made this track his own today. And as we go around the final couple of corners, he's coming up towards the Bernardi of Takagi. Round turn 11. And down towards turn 12. Takagi's not going into trouble. The German, as Ralf Schumacher wins the race. And not only that, but French is about to cross the line to make it a 1-2 finish for Arrows. It's the first 1-2 of the season. De La Rosa is going to hold on for that final point, the final podium. To please the Spanish crowd, Alazi finishes in 4th. 5th place for Diniz, 6th place Burti. Burti couldn't overtake Diniz in the end. 7th place goes to Mazzacane, 8th place goes to Fisichella. And Webber misses out on that point. So Ralf Schumacher makes it 2 wins this season. And it's going to propel him quite high up in the standings. The standings again would have already been shown, but I don't update the standings until after this race. Coulthard finishes in 10th. So we're about to do a live standings count, even though the standings have already been posted. I've got to find the standings now. So Burti will obviously still lead the championship because he's about 10 postcodes away. Second place is still going to be Fisichella. Third place, I think, is now going to be Frentzen. He's going to go up to 31 points. Diniz has only got him a couple of points. Ralf Schumacher is going to go up onto 26. Ahead of Alazi? No, Alazi will still be ahead. Diniz is still going to be ahead as well. Webber is on 22 points, so Webber's going to be overtaken for that position. Mazzacane is going to gain a few positions. I don't really know. This is a whole mess. Ralf Schumacher wins in Spain. Frentzen makes it an Arrows 1-2. Arrows is going to propel him up. It's going to propel the Arrows up to, you'd assume, championship contention. Burti finishes in 6th, the championship leader. Mazzacane 7th. And there's the rest of the finishers, as well as all your retirements. Now, since I predicted the race wrong last time, I don't really know where the race is going to be held next. I want to say Austria. At some point, it's got to be Austria that the next race is going to be. How about we'll find out? Live reaction about what the next race is going to be. Race number 9 out of 16. I'm on the thing now. It is Austria. Austria is the next race for the final race of the second European leg of the championship before we go over to Asia for 3 races. As we look down the rest of the field, we're on board with Mark Webber. Coulthard finishes in 10th place for McLaren, 11th place Takagi, 12th Button, 13th is Barrichello, the last of the finishers. All the rest, all retired. Montoya unlucky to retire. Montoya's had a rotten season so far, scuppered with loads of retirements. Got a sort of feel for him, but the season 3 champion has not done anything since winning the championship. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this race. I hope you enjoyed it. The Arrows team are now going to be celebrating to the early hours of the morning with the 1-2. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.